Deep in the woods, no headlights for miles. 3 patrol cars boxed me in. One of them stepped out first, Sergeant Hayes, my wife's lover, the one my son had caught her with before he died in an accident. There was no dash cam, no witnesses. He smiled like a man about to sign a death certificate. "Same place we took your dead son," he said, laughing. "We'll send you to hell as we sent your boy." 2 more guns came up beside his. They thought I was just an old man. They never checked my military record. Force Recon, Sniper. I still carry my K-bar, not for show. The rain was cold. The forest was quiet. I could hear my own heartbeat, and beneath it, something darker. My son's death had been the one wound I couldn't stitch shut. A car crash, they said, single vehicle, no skid marks, case closed. But there'd been bruises on his knuckles at the viewing, and a split in his lip I knew hadn't come from any steering wheel. When my wife avoided my eyes at the funeral, I thought it was grief. Now I know it was something else. Hayes had been around ever since, fixing things around the house, talking to her in low voices that stopped when I walked in. She said he looked out for us because I was gone so much. I'd been naive enough to believe it, or maybe I'd wanted to. The moment he said my son's name tonight, the puzzle assembled itself. The image was uglier than I'd imagined. I didn't fight that night, not yet. I played their game, hands up, calm, let them search me. Let them think the knife was my only weapon. They didn't know the real one was patience. Over the next week, I began to move like a shadow. I pulled my son's case file from an old contact in internal affairs. Parts were missing, statements redacted, the crash photos gone. But I found the tow yard that had handled the wreck. Cash bought me a look. The driver's door had been caved in. The impact angle was wrong for a single vehicle skid. Blood on the passenger side headrest, too high for my boy. I traced the chain. That blood was Hayes. Back home, my wife's phone was exactly where she always left it while she showered. Her passcode hadn't changed. The texts were surgical in their cruelty. Plans, rendezvous, and one message: it's done. No more loose ends. My hands didn't shake. Inside, the storm was growing. 3 days later, I had enough. I waited until she was in the kitchen, back to me, stirring tea. I slid the printed photos of the wreck, the text messages, and Hayes's disciplinary record onto the table. She glanced down. Her hand froze mid-stir. "Where did you get—" I didn't answer. I just watched her. Her pupils widened. She knew lying was pointless. "You don't—" she started. "I understand," I said. It was the first time I'd spoken in hours. "I understand exactly." The quiet between us was worse than shouting. She tried to touch my arm. I stepped back. Her face broke. Mine didn't. I called Hayes that night. Told him I wanted to talk. He suggested the same stretch of woods. When I arrived, he was alone. No badge, no backup. I tossed him an envelope. He caught it, opened it. The color drained from his face. Photos, text transcripts, and a copy of an anonymous tip already sent to the state AG's office. "You son of a—" "You killed my boy," I said. Calm, flat. "No badge will save you now." His mouth worked, but no sound came. "By morning, your wife will know. The department will know. Every reporter in the county will know. And you'll wish I'd just left you in the dirt that night." I turned my back on him. That was the part that cut the deepest. Not killing him. Not giving him the closure of an end. I didn't go home. Home had been burned to its foundations long ago. Instead, I drove until the road narrowed to gravel and the air smelled like pine. I parked, shut off the engine, and let the silence in. I thought about my boy, about the fight he must have put up, about how much of me he'd carried without knowing it. I didn't feel lighter. I didn't feel better, but I felt finished. The truth had done what bullets couldn't. It had killed what was left between me and them. And now there was nothing left to bury. Moral of the story: when the truth is your weapon, you don't need to pull the trigger. Betrayal destroys itself if you have the patience to let it.